Um, I'm guessing I'm on. I think Facebook has changed. Yes, I am on. So, Facebook has changed their outlook a little bit. So that's what threw me off some. So this is Trevor from Peak Potential Physiotherapy and Wellness, coming to you live again to review one of our blogs that we did today, this week. It's all about how to reach your high performance goals without causing long-term damage, which is what everyone wants. Who wants aches and pains, right? So we're just going to go over a few of those points, and if you have any questions, you can put them in the chat. I think I'll be able to see that. If not, you can always put them in the comments, and we'll address those as we see them. I'll also link to the blog underneath that you can click on to read more in-depth information about how to reach your high performance goals without causing long-term damage. So to give you a few points of what we're going to do, there's about five points I want to go over. First one is about warm-up, sleep, imbalance, owning your results, and finally how to recover appropriately. To introduce myself again, I'm Trevor. I've been working in the physical therapy field for over 12 years now. I'm also a certified athletic trainer, as well as the other therapist here with me, Matt Kari. We're both athletic trainers in our past, and then went back and went to physical therapy school to learn a little bit more about the body and what we're trying to do. So, how do we not cause long-term damage with enjoying the things that we want to do? I mean, that everyone talks about, and this is a little tangent, but everyone talks about osteoarthritis and that it's a wear and tear arthritis. That is true. The more we use our body, the more stress comes on it, the more we break down our cartilage and those sorts of things. However, the opposite is a problem too. So let's say, well, I don't want to hurt my joints and cause degenerative changes, so I'm going to sit around. Then you have cardiovascular problems, your heart isn't as strong, your lungs aren't as strong, there's a whole slew of other bad health risks as opposed to some wear and tear on your body if you're staying active. So it's still early in 2017, so we start the year and we all have goals. That can be reading more, it can be meditating, there's a whole slew, but a lot of them involve being more active. So this could be wanting to run a marathon, wanting to do a triathlon, joining a sports league, or it could simply just be wanting to go to that higher level class at your gym that you're looking into and see all the people having fun and jumping around and wondering if you can do it too. So, or I also think it involves with people just wanting to, hey Dean, you would think you might not work if you keep jumping on Facebook Live, right? It's good seeing you. So these types of goals take a huge effort and intensity and can lead to burnout or injury if you're having problems. So we want to give you a few tips on how you can prevent this long-term injury, and if you have any questions, we can give you the options that are left afterwards. So we're just wanting to help you make a better decision about your health, and especially those people who are higher level that want to meet their goals for 2017. We are here for you. So this could be during season of training, or it could be a cumulative of minor injuries afterwards that cause a problem. So this could be sprains, strains, stiffness, those sorts of things that happen after you stop the activity or after you've trained for that marathon and you're done. It's possible to reach these goals without having pain or long-term damage, but you need to be proactive and listen to your body. Your body is trying to tell you something when there is pain, stiffness, something that's just not right. You need to be able to take an inventory of your body and see how you feel. So personally, I just started a new workout program myself, doing a lot heavier weight than I'm used to, and I had some bad form, and I had to go to my other my other therapist and get some form corrections on some heavier weightlifting that I was doing. And I am sore, and my body was trying to tell me that I was doing something wrong. So I sought out some professional help, which is one of the tips as we go along. Oh, I didn't see Rachel's watching too. It's good to see everyone on. So the tips to compete at a high level for you without pain or having long-term effects. The first one is you always have to warm up. Everyone's wondering, what the heck do I do before I even start working out? Do I get on the treadmill? Do I stretch? Do I, just run up and down the gym before I start lifting? Where the research is now is there's a dichotomy of what's called dynamic warm-up and static warm-up. You need a blend of both. So what we have seen and what's best for our athletes and clients and those who aren't athletes and clients is just to do what's called a dynamic warm-up to start off with. And so you can warm up on the bike, treadmill, just 5-10 minutes just to get the blood flowing. The dynamic warm-up is not a static stretch, so it's doing certain movements to get the body ready to do the activity that you're doing. So for running, I have people do a lot of movements with kicking, using their hamstrings, jumping, those sorts of things to prepare the body to do what it's supposed to do. You can always look up dynamic stretching, or if you have questions, you can always get a hold of us and we can tell you what good dynamic stretching would be for you with whatever activity you're trying to get to. So always warm up and be dynamic, do that dynamic warm up. Afterwards is when you want to do the static stretching. That's when you can actually increase your flexibility. So afterwards is when you want to sit down and do a long hamstring stretch, a long quadricep stretch. You have to hold those stretches for at least 30 seconds. You can hold longer, but not shorter. And you would want to do that after you do your exercises, where you can actually perform your increased flexibility. The next is sleep. So everyone talks about needing to get more sleep, and it is true. The body recovers while you're sleeping. There is overtraining, but there is also something that's become a buzzword called under-recovery. And not sleeping enough will accumulate and become set up for injury. If your body's not able to recover, that's when our cells regenerate. That's where we're able to start absorbing the inflammation that we might have created during a heavy lifting day or anything like that. So sleep is a big thing. And there, again, are a lot more in-depth information on this on our blog. The third is imbalance. So we have to be equally mobile, and we also have to have stability. So the way I've learned it is, if you're too mobile, so you have a lot of flexibility and you don't have enough stability, then that creates vulnerability. Meaning that if I'm real loose and I can stretch and do all that, but I'm not strong, is then my body is vulnerable for injury. So then I go ask it to do a high-level activity like running or playing in a game, or even if it's as simple as wanting to run after your kids, or after your grandkids. That's something your body has to be able to do. You have to train your body to do that. So if you're real flexible and you don't have the strength you need, you're vulnerable. Now, the opposite of that is true. You can be you can be stable and kind of stiff, but not mobile. So you can be stable or stability and not have the mobility, and that creates inefficiency. So meaning that you can have all this motion and everything. I might have flipped that around. So, but then there's the stability versus mobility. So you can have too much of one versus the other. One creates vulnerability and one creates inefficiency. You're inefficient if you can't move and you're strong. If you can move and you're not strong, then you're vulnerable for injury. And there's screening for these. We do what's called the functional movement screen here in the clinic. That's something you can always ask us about if that would be appropriate for you. The fourth is to own your results. Everyone needs to take ownership of what's going on. There's a book that I keep wanting to read called Extreme Ownership, written by a Navy SEAL, which is, so again, I digress. But that's a book that's just basically owning what you're doing. So if you are feeling bad or you got some aches and pains, you want to know what you're doing wrong. Do you need help? And the quicker you correct that problem, then the quicker you're back in the game. So you want, again, to take an inventory. Is something wrong? Okay? So own your results and don't blame someone else. Understand what you did first and get help. So finally is to recover appropriately. And this doesn't mean when injury does occur, you get help. But you put this effort into your workout or into the sport or all the stuff that you want to be able to do, or even the time with your kids. You've created time to spend with your kids or grandkids. You've retired, and you have to be able to recover appropriately to be able to do that. This isn't just taking a day off or having a sports recovery drink. This is knowing what you can do to recover and be able to do all the things that you want to do. So we can help you heal as you still train. People always like, well, if I get hurt, I'm gonna have to stop what I'm doing. That's not the case. You have to augment or change the way you're doing things so that you don't hurt yourself further. With the types of treatments we do with our hands to loosen up the stiff things, to strengthen the things that are unstable, you can still be active, and we're going to teach you how to do that. I had a client this morning who was working a couple jobs, and she was having some problems because she was always getting out of alignment in her back and in her pelvis, and she was kind of frustrated. She was like, well, I want to be able to go ride horses and teach lessons like she normally does, but she needs the job to have money to be able to do that. So I didn't tell her not to go work or not to ride. We need to figure out what we need to do so that she can go work and that she can go ride horses and do the things that she loves. So it's working within your activity level, but changing it so that you don't keep getting hurt. Okay? Hopefully this makes some sense. If not, please comment, or if you get on the blog, you can ask us a question, or just run the comments below, and I'll answer those specifically. But in conclusion, preventing long-term effects of training so that you don't have long-term problems is not just taking the off day and doing some, taking an Advil or anything like that, but it's listening to your body. And that's what we're here to do, to help you, to allow you to make a better decision about your health. I want to be active, but it hurts when I do this. That's where we can lead you. Let us be your guide in that. We have a lot of resources on our website that you can click and download for free. You can always put a comment on our Facebook page or underneath this video if you'd like, and I'll answer that personally. Or you can get on a call with us, myself or Matt, and talk to us about the goals that you are having that you don't feel like you can meet, or that you've tried to meet and you're still not getting there. From the highest level of being able to run a marathon or half marathon. I know the Germantown half is coming up here soon. Or is it to be able to lift your kids up without hurting your back? All those things are part of the activity and goals that we should have for 2017. So it's been great talking to you. I'm going to be back next week to go over some things. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below, and we'll answer them as they come in. But so happy to be with y'all again this week, and have a great rest of the week. Thanks. Bye.